anybody.
Yeah.
This could be Saturday. That could be the last game of the year. You
At
go.
least we tied up the series for one. And
You-
two, the first game we lost was like OT, like
Yeah.
goal in the last.
You could be
minute.
going to the last game of the year on Saturday with their money.
Yeah, I could.
That'll
We'll see.
be that,
Well, then I better go because that's the last hockey I'm gonna see.
and then we can just take a nap until next year.
Yep. There's no other sport I'm gonna pay attention to until next hockey.
Mets season.
Yeah, I don't care that much about the Mets or baseball. Baseball's dumb and bad. I don't like it.
Make yourself care.
It's real hard to care. Plus, honestly, like, you know how the depths of my not caring about baseball? I just want a team from where I am to win, so the Yankees and the Mets are pretty much equal
No.
as far as I'm concerned. If either one wins, I win because New York wins.
No,
And if
that's
the
not
Tigers
true.
win, I also win because that's
No.
my other team.
If the Yankees win, you do not win.
I probably couldn't even name all of the teams in baseball. I don't think I could do it.
I could. It'd take a while.
Yeah,
had to-
I'd probably get about
Because it's one of those things where it's like I know them all, but I had to be like, which one did I forget? Oh, it was that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I said that one already. Damn. If I had a map, it'd be easier. Like a map with a bunch of blanks on it.
You could make that America game,
If you had a
but
map,
sports.
if you had a map with a bunch of circles that were empty, I could write in all of them.
You could make that America game about American sports with the same setup, basically. Sports stats. What city did this happen? Where did this player come from? How many goals have been scored by all of the centers in hockey in the last 40 years? You could make a good game with that. Oh, hey, we got a bunch of people watching already.
What's wrong with that?
Hello, so glad to catch the love the show and receive the wisdom. Saw the movie last week.
If
let
you
me in
didn't receive the
theaters.
wisdom because you're wasting time in your life unwisely watching this stream. Clearly, you did not
there are worse
receive the
things-
wisdom.
There are worse things you could do than watch the stream. I mean,
Yes, you could be like committing crimes and hurting people, but
Yeah.
you clearly did not receive the wisdom. If you received the wisdom,
well, no, you got to get to the show.
You would
and
do
then the
something.
wisdom comes out. If you have the wisdom already.
oh, you got it now. Go do something productive. Go make something.
If you already got the wisdom, you can go get power and courage. Then you're good.
Stop consuming. Start producing. Right?
All right.
Craftsman, not captain.
Craftsman is like the garbage action. You want someone else to always craft, and you just crafting. You don't want to be the one crafting.
You want a craftsman.
Especially if you got the factory, let everybody else just crank that machine for you.
Be a productive member of society.
Oh, all right, there's like 5 people in there. All right, let's just do this. It's Wednesday, right? Okay. It's Wednesday, April 19th, 2017. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geek Nights. Tonight, Your Name, pretty much the biggest anime movie ever.
What's the Japanese title?
Kimi no Nawa.
Okay.
All right. One of them is pooping right now, so they're watching this while they poop. So that's fine.
You could do something better while you're pooping. Play
Like what?
Hiroshima Hex.
I have played Hiroshima Hex to the point that I could probably legit write a giant if-then statement for literally every action I would take in that game.
You could play a different game.
Like what?
Warbits is good.
Eh,
Hearthstone is good.
eh.
Probably the best phone games. He's got enough internet to stream. He's got enough internet to play Hearthstone.
True. Because at work I don't get internet at the pooper.
Bathrooms are usually pretty solid in terms of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I got no Wi-Fi. In
Good
the
luck
pooper.
getting your Wi-Fi through those tiles and those pipes and the water.
Yep. That's why I play a lot of Hiroshima Hex when I'm pooping.
I cannot play Hearthstone while pooping.
Downwell I can't do because I got to pay a lot of attention.
Plus, you don't want to, sit on the pot for the length of a Hearthstone game, right?
No. Hiroshima Hex is exactly one poopins.
You might be sitting there like in a long control matchup.
Yep.
And
You get to the point where
you're already
someone
done
knocks on the
pooping.
door like, you okay in there?
It's like,
What's going on?
it's like, no, this guy's hitting me for 10 damage. I need to draw my outs.
All right. Got an opening bit? I could do... I got a bike story.
Great,
I got a bike experiment.
great.
So a notable feature of my life in this apartment building, we've lived here since like 2009, and the building has a bike room. And a couple years ago, we got a better bike room.
We've talked about this bike room enough
Yeah.
in the past
So
years.
when we moved in, the building was all like less than a year old. It was a brand new building. And there was a bike that I noticed in the bike room because it was like in the way of a good spot. And both tires were flat, like completely flat,
Mhm.
like hanging off the rims. And after like a year of that bike never moving and always being there, one day I moved it and I put my bike in the much better place.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the next time I went to use my bike, that bike was back in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
But let's fast forward to today. So the number of years between 2009 and 2017, and whoever owns that bike moved it on the first day the new bike room was open into the new bike room. Because you had to move your bike yourself, otherwise they
And
just
the
threw your bike
tires have
away.
never been not flat.
The tires are not only completely flat, but now the cabling for the brakes is like loose,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like everything, like stuff is rotted and just broken.
Mm-hmm.
The bike is literally unusable,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple days ago, I moved it off of the peg because it has to be hung on the peg next to our bikes. And it's always in the way because since the tires are flat, it like leans in over our bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took it off because it's not locked up or anything. And I put it on the floor. And I have not yet checked today to see if the person has moved it back.
If you haven't checked, then why are you telling the story now? You got to tell the story after the final checking.
No, because I'm
Now
never gonna reveal what the answer is.
Oh, that's good too.
I'm just gonna leave it open forever.
That's also fine.
The moral is, why does this person own a bike? It's not really a
Wait,
moral.
the real question here is not like I can understand. Okay, the person has a really shitty bike. They're planning to fix it someday. They just haven't.
Yeah,
right?
you know what it like if you live in the suburbs, you got busted shit in your garage that you don't throw away.
Exactly. But that part makes perfect sense. It's not not crazy.
But
the
moving
crazy
it so reliably.
No, the crazy part is that the person is going in to check on it so frequently.
that
They're not using it. What the fuck are they doing with
Yup.
it? Why are they going to look at it? If you have a busted bike in your garage that you're going to fix one day, you basically never, ever, ever look at it.
Because
ever.
like literally, or if you see it, you feel ashamed and you either hide it or you fix it. If it's like right out in center, someone might be like,
maybe they're doing some sort of time lapse thing where every day they take a photo of it getting more busted.
or maybe there's an alternate podcast out there where this dude is like, so I got this shitty bike and I'm just fucking with these people who seem to take a weird interest in it.
I'm using it to hold a spot in the bike room for when I get a good bike.
Yep,
And I
it's
check
been-
every day to make sure.
But I haven't gotten that new bike yet because I'm saving up my pennies. Bike's on layaway. That's my story. Because I promised I wouldn't tell any fixie stories. This bike is not a fixie. It's just a heavy ass like steel tube, I don't know, bike.
Piece of rust. Does it even
Yeah.
count as a bike?
There's only rust. The only rust on it is on the brake cables.
All right. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not the worst I've seen.
I'm really curious
Far
to see
from the worst I've
if they've
seen.
checked on it. It's been a couple days. I really want to see if they have put it
Why
back
didn't
on
you
its
see on your
peg.
way into the building?
The guy got to go down there. I just didn't bother.
You were just down there on your way up.
No, it's one floor down. It's in the basement.
Okay.
There's a giant ass room down there. In fact, the room's so big, I'm doing bike maintenance down there now.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like my personal workshop. I even hid tools because there's a bunch of like tool chests of like contractors and things. I just got some tools down there.
All right, whatever. So, I don't have any real news action going on, but I want to talk about this anime called Kemono Friends. Not kimono that you wear.
Well, that would be Kemono.
Right. This is Kemono, Kemono. And this is a show that I heard lots of buzz about on the interwebs.
Yup.
And I saw a lot of tweets, with pictures from the show. And so I was thinking, I don't know anything about this, but the internet is giving me that sort of Madoka feel. Like
Yep.
everyone's talking about a thing that I ignored. There must be something up with it.
And I remember very clearly because Dragon Maid kind of had like this initial, like everyone's talking about it, and then everybody shut up about that show, and it was nothing but Kemono Friends on Twitter.
Right,
Like
so I'm
within the
like-
span of a couple weeks.
So there was a time where I was sitting down with a Crunchyroll, and I'm like, let's watch something. Oh, I know. I'll watch that thing that everyone talked about.
Yeah.
Let's pull up episode 1, and I've watched only episode 1.
I watched a couple of random, not whole episodes. Basically, I went to later episodes and kind of did the skim through and see if anything's going on.
Okay, so what I have to say about this show is it is not good. Why are all you people? I can sort of see why people are obsessed with it, right? It's like there's
Dude, it's got better ratings than like half the anime
Right.
on Anime
there
News
is some.
Network.
I can see in the plot. There's definitely some sort of mystery. Like, ooh, I'm gonna spoil the whole first episode. Give it, deal with it, right?
Humans are the unknown animal, the end.
Right. There's clearly this safari zone, right? But the safari zone is dilapidated. It's clearly some sort of post-apocalyptic world where all the animals have become furry animals, right? People animals. But
They're not really furries. They're more like Nekomimi types.
whatever. But this actual person, or at least as far as we can tell, actual person, they could have animal parts that are covered up by their clothes.
I feel like if they explore, there already is a show that explores if there's animal parts covered up by their clothes, and that's that Monster Musume show.
But anyway, this actual person, who's not an animal person, appears in this place with no memories and befriends some animal person.
The serval girl, I guess, and and they're all like, "What the fuck are you?"
And they start exploring and meeting animal friends and learning about the world. And there's also these weird jelly monsters that are something mystical or that have some connection, obviously, with the post-apocalypse something. There's a mystery there. So people are into it because they want to know what the mystery is. I don't give a shit. I've seen enough post-apocalyptic shows with terrible secrets of space.
The thing is, if you want a weird show that has some of those vibes, I can name a lot of better shows.
Every good anime ever.
And if you want cute, funny animals, guys, Damaka Dobutsu exists.
Right.
Just watch that
But
over
anyway,
and over again.
So this show, the animation is not the worst, but it's awful.
It is. Well, it is.
It's like, if I
It's
give
not
it
no budget.
2 out of 10.
It is low budget.
Lowest budget crap CG garbaggio.
You might think like it looks good in stills.
The character designs aren't bad, right? It's just the animation.
I like the Penguin
movement
girls with their,
and the quality is not good. The acting is just
the show is slow and repetitive. You know what it reminds me of? Bincho-tan.
Yeah, this is just some.
Remember that?
Yeah, this is just some garbaggio anime. I don't know why it became a big deal. It's not like Monica is like 9 point almost 10 out of 10, and this is like 2 or 3 out of 10 at best as a whole show.
So by following Anna Twitter and kind of really paying attention,
is it just a ironic meme? What's the deal?
So it's interesting because I found this article while I was looking up some info on it. Because one, Kemono Friends, the story of how and why it got made is actually kind of weird and interesting. But the gist of it is, it was like a crass marketing ploy where this like really dumb, simple, low budget show was basically a giant ad for this bigger property with like a phone game, like a video game,
like a hack sign thing.
Quote. But it wasn't until the series began.
Quote
airing
who?
that the project, I'll get to that in a second, that the project really caught fire. The smartphone game was released in March of 2015 and ended its service shortly before the anime series began airing.
So they made an anime to promote a phone game.
The phone game
came and went, but they kept making the anime anyway. The anime was just an ad for the phone game. And now the anime's doing well on its own?
Yep. And this article...
I did read something that this isn't just an American fan thing. For some reason,
no, this show is going crazy.
I read something that said there was a pop-up store, a temporary shop that's selling Kemono Friends merch, and everything in the store except for like audio CDs sold out.
Yeah, in 2 days.
Because who buys audio CDs even if they're your favorite thing ever?
And the merch looks like typical AnimeCon stuff, except it's all Kemono Friends.
Sure.
And, you know, the character designs are cute. I can see why people would be into that aspect of it. But
Yeah, I mean, the show isn't... I didn't give it a 0, right? It's not the worst ever. It's not... But it's bad. I'm not going to put any more watching time in my life into this.
I've enjoyed watching other people talk about it. I've enjoyed animated GIFs from it.
Well, I mean, I enjoy animated GIF from pretty much anything.
Yeah. But so this article on Anime Now, which is where I got that quote from, it goes a little more into the story of like how it came to be and like what's going on here. But this article tries to explain why it's so popular in Japan and also among like sort of, I don't want to say normal anime fans because normal American anime fans have no idea what the hell this is. This is like if you go to anime cons and you're in anime culture, those are the kinds of people talking about this show.
If you're an anime person, you like this show's the biggest deal. If you're not an anime person, you're just a person who might watch an anime.
If you're just watching
you
Boruto,
you don't know what this is.
You know about Boruto, right? Naruto's son.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Bort license plates.
Bort.
But this article basically, and this is not the only article that has expressed basically the same sentiment, says that the reason it's popular is because it's earnest and simple and it lets you forget about the bad world around you. It basically gives the case that perverts give for why they watch moe shows, where they want to make it very clear that they're not watching it for perverted reasons. So they're saying that because it's just fluff and there's basically nothing going on, that is why it's so popular.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the only reason it's popular among the Anna Twitter types is because
cat girls.
All the background clues are that humans are gone, post-apocalyptic. You see like bombs, Adventure Time type stuff, like in the background.
So it has
over the
fanboy
place.
appeal.
Yeah.
Bombs, cat girls,
Yep.
cute things, everything fanboys like.
I think the best thing that came out of this show, other than me being able to talk about Damaka Dobutsu again and remind people to watch that, is that someone did a whole bunch of really good illustrations of mashing this up with Galaxy Express 39.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're real good because that's Metalu and that's the kid, and it's just it's really good.
Tetsuro.
Yeah, that's it. That's the best I've gotten out of this. Maybe you guys could convince me that I got to go back and watch more of it, but I'm not convinced, and I've read every spoiler, and I have dug through later episodes.
I mean, I'm watching Yoa Pedal, which is not good. It's just a thing I'm into, but it's bad. It's barely better than Initial D. And I'm not gonna watch Kemono Friends. That's how bad Kemono Friends is.
I would probably finish Dragon Maid before I would watch more Kemono Friends, to be perfectly honest.
If I had to watch,
But the same people who were really talking up Dragon Maid
It's a
were the
tough
ones who jumped off that ship.
This is actually
this one.
That's actually a tough call for me, right? Because on the one hand, I think they're pretty much even in my desire to watch more of them, which is not at all.
Dragon Maid's funnier and better animated.
That's true, but I do care about as much as I said, right? It's like there's a stupid mystery. That's what everyone cares about, and I don't care. I've seen enough of those. I still
yeah.
It's still a thing,
Well,
right?
like Attack on Titan.
And that's about equal. That level is about equal to the level of what's that mystery going on in Dragon Maid with the sword, right? It's like they're about equal mysteries. Like I don't care about either one, but if I got to pick one, it's like, they're so even.
Well, think back to Attack on Titan, and even to an extent, the original Full Metal Alchemist. Both those shows I was really into, and then when they were done or there wasn't more to watch,
stop caring.
Yeah, I just didn't care at all.
Yeah.
And Attack on Titan, unlike Full Metal Alchemist, pretty sure that show ain't going anywhere.
I went with the manga even further, and
I read every spoiler from the manga up until the new anime came out. Every one of the answers that you get in the show after the anime ends, the first season, not worth it, not good.
If anyone wants a big stack of Attack on Titan manga, I got it. You can have it.
Yeah. But it came back, and I realized that everyone who's talking about it really seems to only care about finding out what the deal is with the crap. And
just read the spoilers and save your time in your life to do something more productive.
I think you're better off not reading the spoilers because every answer to every question you come up with is way less satisfying than whatever you were going to make up on your own.
Oh, so just make something up on your own and be productive, and then pretend that that's the real deal. And then
pretend the show's just about the potato girl, and that's it. Because. So, in other news, we're going to talk about Your Name, which is a fantastic movie, but it's not just us saying it's a fantastic movie. If you were not aware, Your Name
Shouldn't we talk about this in the main bit?
No, so Your Name did crazy well.
I was going to talk about that during the main bit. You're taking time away from the main bit.
All right, then I'll be very short on this. It's the 4th highest grossing film of all time in Japan.
It's a big deal.
That includes foreign films that screen in Japan. And it is the 2nd highest grossing Japanese film ever.
As in a film that was made by a Japanese movie studio.
And it is still in theaters. But the news is that it's not just Your Name. So Toho also made Shin Godzilla.
Also, anytime you see a movie and at the beginning of the movie there's that circle.
Oh yeah, that kanji. It's one big kanji.
That kanji that says "guaranteed good movie," right? And apparently, "guaranteed good movie" in Japanese is Toho.
So
that's how you say that.
Toho is making crazy money. They have set record profits due primarily to Your Name and Shin Godzilla. And they have made record profits every year for, I think, 3 years in a row. So, we talk about all these different things that have saved anime over and over again. I feel like Toho / Your Name is what has actually saved anime because Your Name has transcended the traditional boundaries that anime tends to run up against on the global stage. And this movie is getting legit wide traction.
There's another symbol you may have seen. It's when there's water splashing on some rocks with this triangle. That says almost guaranteed good movie. Not quite as good as the circle.
Oh, I had a thing of the day I keep forgetting to use. I gotta go find it again. But
someone went to the rocks.
Yeah, they found the spot.
That's old.
Yeah, and the rocks are mostly the same. Like they're a little worn down, but they found the exact spot.
Yeah.
And then they confirmed with the studio that was the spot.
Yes, we know the spot. I've seen that. That's years and years old.
I've never used it as my thing of the day.
I think we may have actually.
I don't think we did.
I think we did like 2,000 long time ago.
All right. All right. Yeah. I'll do whatever. I'm indifferent. Let's just go to the cantina. Cantina time. All right. But anyway, things of the day. So I was thinking about anime cons and anime music videos recently, and I've noticed that anime music videos not nearly as popular as they used to be. Not the biggest part of the conventions that they used to be, and there's a whole thing we could do about
You
that.
found a good one?
No, but independently, I've just noticed that there have been a lot of things, and there's a lot more of them now than there used to be, that are basically AMVs, but they're not anime. It's like that culture has expanded to everything but anime. But what I noticed looking through AMVs and then these newer things on YouTube is that AMVs get very few views, even very expectedly popular ones, but the exact same thing done with like Western cartoons or just movies lately is getting tons and tons and tons and tons of views. And I realize I've just been watching a lot of these things without even really thinking about it. So my thing of the day is just this really good AMV, swimming pools, drank, Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty good. Like all the things you used to watch AMVs for apply to this stuff. And AMVs are, I think they're going to disappear from the con scene, or at least they're going to become niche, and they will be to anime
They've already
cons.
become niche. That's already happened.
I know, within the anime con scene, because they still put them in like the big rooms, I feel like it won't be too long before they fill the spot that those 12 guys playing Warhammer fill at a mid-sized gaming convention.
Anyway, so there's this thing I never heard of before until just by luck I came across this. So British pathe, or it's spelled P-A-T-H, and then the E has one of those accents on it.
Is it what direction is the accent going, up or down?
To the right.
To the right, up?
Up to the right.
Accent aigu, so A, yeah.
Anyway, that's weird because that's a French thing, but the first word is the word British. Anyway, is considered to be the finest newsreel archive in the world. Is a treasure trove of 85,000 films, unrivaled in their historical and cultural significance, spanning from 1896 to 1976. It's a big like treasure trove of newsreels, right? It's all these people, British pathe or whatever, they keep this because people who want to use these films pay them for rights. It's all rights reserved. It's not some public thing, right? It's just like they have this huge library of newsreels, and if you want to use one, you give them money. And and if you're a teacher or broadcaster or any reason you would need one of those, you give them money and you use it, right? So that's great. What does that matter? Well, I came across I don't even know how, their YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Their YouTube channel is basically a gold mine, a very large gold mine. Perhaps it's even a platinum mine, you could say. So here is one thing from this platinum mine, one nugget of ore.
All right.
To give you a taste.
Give him a nugget.
This is video from 1966 at Charlie Chaplin's 77th birthday.
Ooh.
Where they made a cake that looks like him. And there's mad famous people there. Mad famous people, some of which are still children. At the party.
I've been
And they have in their, I don't think all their films are on YouTube, but the other stuff they have on YouTube is of this quality, so
that is real high quality right there.
Right.
That's not just chocolate. That's white chocolate.
You could just stop watching all anime, all whatever it is that you're doing, and spend the rest of your time and guess until you run out of their YouTube material. It's a lot of that's gonna be better than whatever else is out there.
I gotta turn those into AMVs.
Go for it. It's only 4 minutes long.
In the meta moment, the book club book is Frank Herbert's Dune, and we're going to do it way later because we're still playing Zelda, and I'm not going to even start reading that book.
I haven't even played Zelda in like a week because
I just got the
I'm
Master
too busy.
Sword. Shit is lit.
I've had the Master Sword for a long time.
Yeah, well, now I'm doing the Bird People Great Beast right now.
I already took care of that.
I went over to do the desert one, And then multiple people have warned me that if I go mess with the Yiga clan, the ninja problem gets way worse.
That's true. Once I defeated the Yiga clan, everywhere else in the world, ninjas just keep appearing randomly all the time.
So I'm letting them be for now, and I'm gonna go. I got plenty of mighty thistles, and I'm gonna go take care of the other two guardians first.
That's all right, because I'm pretty good at killing them now.
Yeah. Well, if you got a long stick, it's real easy to kill those guys.
I just kill. Well, it depends. The arrow ones I can kill with arrows. And the fighting ones, The
fighting ones, I just poke them with a spear, and they're down, and there's nothing they can do.
You haven't fought the big ones.
No, I have not fought the big ones.
The big
but
ones
I
are the
beat a
ones
bunch
that
of big
appear.
guardians, so I got all these like gigantic guardian plus swords.
Yeah, Guardian plus swords are trash and are really only good against guardians. They're
Yeah.
not really good against anything else. They also break really quickly.
Yep. So 2 of them have that durable bonus on them.
That barely helps.
So it seems I've been using one for a while. It's still going.
Yeah, I'm collecting guardian bits. I just need some gears, and I'm gonna get a pile of money, and I'm gonna get the ancient armor.
I have more than 50 gears.
Which basically makes me invincible. But then I think I need like a pile of diamonds to upgrade it to the max level.
Diamonds. I need way more diamonds.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, we're going to be at. Well, I'm going to be at, because Scott is skipping it, Zenkai Con. At the end of the month, Saturday, I'll be doing grinding mechanics and game design. It's the one you've seen before. And I'm also doing foreign anime openers, the condensed mega version of only the best of. And on Sunday, I'm doing Flip the Table, Rage Quitting in Games, and then I'm coming home. Otherwise, Kineticon, if you haven't submitted your panels and you want to perform a panel at Kineticon, submit it basically like right now, because I'm literally filling in the schedule. Like every night, I'm putting panels in their spots. The longer you wait, the shittier your spot's going to be. I pretty much schedule everything myself, and I'm just scheduling. I'm not waiting for it. No, I wait for no man.
He waits for women, though.
I wait for no they.
No they? No human?
No human.
He's waiting for alien.
If a xenomorph submits a panel, they're going in the small room because they had to keep that contained.
He's waiting for a tiger.
Probably give him a panel.
Waiting for a tiger. Rawr.
Did you see someone, because everyone's freaking out about how hot Sidon is in Zelda, the
They're
shark
still
guy?
freaking out about him?
So someone drew, I just saw this, it was the similar art of the cat guy equivalent of that, like tiger guy. It's just a full tiger for a head.
Okay.
And the main bit. So I saw your name actually a long time ago, because I just was on
It
a
wasn't
flight.
a long time ago.
It was months ago.
It wasn't that. That's not a long time.
That's a long time ago.
Okay.
And I actually,
In the
you know,
dark ages.
it was good enough to where when it came to the U.S. in theaters, and Scott and Emily, of course, wanted to go see it, I was 100% ready to just see it again and to see it in the theater in glorious high res.
Yeah, I mean, so Makoto Shinkai, we've talked about him before, but I guess in case someone's new, we'll talk about him again, right? Is a guy who I think with his wife made an anime in their basement on their own. And it was good enough that he got to make more animes. And eventually he made, I guess, the breakout anime was Hoshi no Koe.
Yep, Voices of a Distant Star.
Which I think we've done an episode on.
So let's see. Voices of a Distant Star is about lovers separated by space and time.
Yep.
Then there's The Place Promised in Early Days, which is about lovers separated by space, time, and possibly dimensions. 5 centimeters per second, which is a short show of 3 episodes, which is lovers
I think
separated.
it's also a manga.
Lovers separated by space and time. Children Who Chase Lost Miyazaki Movies, which is just a knockoff Miyazaki movie.
We couldn't tell. We saw that. He was when we saw that, he was there.
Yeah.
I'm sure this GeekNights episode is about all these things.
Yep, we reviewed all these.
He
I'm
was
pretty sure.
there. We went to see him. He talked before at a panel and also after showing us that movie. I really barely remember that movie. It was like, go to a fantasy world, weird shit happens, the end. I had no idea what the hell it was, and I don't have no desire to see it again. I can't imagine that it's good. I'm really curious to see what I said about it at the time.
It was long.
Sure, it feels like, I mean, I don't know how long it was, but thinking about it, it feels long.
It was, you know what it was? It was like a post-apocalyptic Miyazaki movie.
I don't know what it was, But yeah, this is not someone who's only hit home runs. Is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say, right?
But he's pretty much always hit at least an RBI.
Right. His trademarks are beautiful clouds. Even
Yep.
in like TV commercials he makes, the same beautiful clouds. Even
Yep.
in the things he made in his basement, beautiful clouds.
Beautiful clouds in front of a sky that has a lot of purple and stars.
Stories about lovers who are separated by space and time, right?
Yep.
So your name comes, and for once, like this is someone who had like been oddly successful considering he started in his basement, but your name comes, and I'm reading about it. And I'm like, oh, new movie from the guy I know. That's all right. I definitely want to see it at some point. And then you start reading the stories like we talked about before. Most grossing movie. Oh my God, it's popular like crazy. Holy shit, it's the biggest deal. And I'm like, really? Nothing else he made is a big deal. Why is this a big deal? Right? How is this different from anything else he made?
And the short answer is, we'll talk in depth about it. And don't worry, no spoilers, at least not
Yeah.
until the end of this. But it's his best work.
Right.
Holy shit.
What happened is this guy who has been an expert at clouds and lovers separated by space and time just kept doing what he was doing. He made something that had beautiful clouds and lovers separated space and time, but he made the best possible version of that, better than all the previous possible versions of that.
Like, if you had a checklist of things that will make an anime movie popular, it just checks pretty much everything outside of the robots fighting world.
Right, and regardless of the content of the movie itself, right? Like, seeing it made me really think about, because, like, I'm always trying to do new stuff. Like, I'm like, let's do something different. I'm tired of doing the same stuff over and over. But it's
Yeah.
like, maybe in life, a good way to just live, a good philosophy on life, is to find the thing you're good at and just polish the fuck out of it and do it over and over and over and over and over again. I'm like, you know, I'd always, like, when I think about doing that, it's like, that feels bad. Like, I shouldn't do that. I'll keep wanting novelty and variety. But Makoto Shinkai doesn't want novelty and variety. He wants to make the best lovers separated by space and time cloud movie there ever was, and he made it there. And good job on you. Maybe he'll do even better. I guess it's always possible.
My only worry, because this one hits, it hits real emotionally hard. It's a good movie.
Well, I mean, it's lovers separated by space and time.
But he
That's
also
not
learned some
soft
lessons.
material.
So, like, there's a moment, a real emotional low point, shall we say, in the near the end of the movie, and just when it's about to go a little too far down, because some of his earlier works,
It comes back up.
take you a little deeper than probably is necessary for this kind of
Yeah,
story.
Hoshino Koei ends sad. It's just like sad the end.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, and Place Promised
This
in
one
Early
has a
Days
slightly different
is
curve.
either the happiest sad ending or the saddest happy ending I've ever seen in my life.
Right, but this one goes, it goes down, and at the very end, it goes up a little bit.
But just technically, like, from a storytelling standpoint, from, like, the use of side characters and backgrounds and, like, not having extraneous elements, like, it's a technical, I don't want to say masterpiece.
No.
But it is technically perfectly done.
Yeah, it's not so much, it's not selling, you know, crazy tickets at the box office for no reason. It's not unwarranted, right? It's hella good. It's this, you know, usually when there's an anime movie and we review it, we're like, you know, this was good. It's an anime movie, though, so you should go see it, even if it's not the greatest thing ever, because anime movies that aren't just Pokemon the 20th movie are rare and worth your 90 minutes pretty much no matter what. So go see them all. But no, even if you're a person who doesn't give a shit about any animes, you've never seen any animes, this is a movie worth seeing in your life, period. It is on the higher level.
It's a movie that you can just get someone who's never heard of anime to watch.
Right.
Like, sit your mom down and just be like, hey, let's watch
But
this movie.
it is not a, you know, masterpiece, all-time Citizen Kane level movie. Right? It's not that high.
But what is interesting
it's in damn good movie territory.
Is that
like
every
Matrix level.
Everything it tries to do is executed basically perfectly.
It had a lot of practice.
In terms of, like, all these little things happen. Like, there's side characters and all these, like, the plot is actually pretty expansive.
Yeah, it was much. I didn't realize it was going to be so long. So during the movie, there was a time where it felt like the movie was going to end just then, and I'm like, no, it's too soon. This is way short. And then, of course, it didn't end, even though it sort of like the way it was shot, there was a fade out or something. It felt like an end.
It could have ended there. That would have been a downer.
There was like a fade out and a plot point that felt like it could have been an end, even though it was way too soon. But then later on, it happened. It was a similar kind of thing where I'm like, oh, is that the end? And it wasn't.
Yep.
And then it happened, I think, one or two more times. I've only saw it once in the theater. That was it, right? So I vaguely remember it like multiple times where that could have been the end. and it wasn't until eventually there was an end, and I'm like, oh, that's definitely the end. That one for sure.
But there's so all those little side bits. There's a thing that happens, especially in a lot of anime movies. There's movies in general that aren't that good.
But the point is like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah,
it's
107 minutes actually.
Okay, it's long.
Full runtime.
Long.
But there's expected scenes that'll be drawn out, or you don't care and you see them coming. And this movie very definitely avoids every one of those scenes where you'd go, well, this is the part that I expect, and I'll just wait for, to get to the good stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but yeah, we went to see Anshin and the Magic Tablet, and that had a lot of that action going on, but this did not have that.
Well, like a point where this one could have had that is when the people have to convince other people to do something that might be crazy. A normal movie would like draw that part out. This movie skips that and goes right to the bombing.
Mm-hmm. Bombing indeed.
No, in retrospect, the fact that kid is like, fuck yeah, that easily.
He just wants to bomb.
Like, I wonder what his life would have been like had the bombing not taken place. I feel like something was going to get bombed.
He's also wants to sort of get revenge on his dad, making him, work there and stuff.
But it does a good job of every character.
Even so he has a motivation, even if the whole thing's a sham.
But that's it. Every single character who says words, pretty much, and has a name, has a moderately complex set of motivations, and their story is told purely through background and environmental stuff.
Right. There's some side characters, like this sort of secondary couple at the school, and it's like normally in another movie they would be just sort of like decorations, basically.
Yep.
But no, like every character like has a meaning and comes in and does something, or they're not even a character.
But those meanings are not just explained like you see often. Like, it's not like there's a scene at the end where you'll do this because you're in the broadcast club and they blah 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 blah. She's in the broadcast club because they just show a different character sitting in the broadcast club's room, and then later you see that he has a crush on her, and you can basically piece together and foreshadow literally every beat of this movie. It's so consistent.
Mm-hmm. So the story of your name.
Yeah.
So before I saw it, all I thought what it was about was, based on the trailers and stuff, is there's this high school guy and girl in Japan, and when they go to sleep, they dream that they're the other person, and then they try to find each other. That's not 100% accurate.
Yeah.
What it is about is that these high school guy and girl in Japan go to sleep, and they meet in the dream world vaguely, but basically when they wake up, sometimes they switch bodies. Oh shit, it's a trope.
But the way it's handled,
trope.
They show the opposite of what a movie that is about that kind of thing would normally show.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't like when this is happening, you basically see the guy like meeting his friends, and friends are all like, what the fuck was up with you yesterday? And the girl meets all her friends, and they're like, yeah, that was quite a scene you caused yesterday. And you get the story like sort of secondhand.
Yep, like they thought they were dreaming, but yeah, they do try to find each other like when they're awake. Somehow, they're communicating with each other. Like,
they try as best they can because it's like dreams. They don't have full memories of what they were up to.
Right, but they're like texting each other.
Yep. Well, they start leaving messages for each other to try to they're trying to not mess up each other's lives because they start messing up each other's lives.
Right, like if one person messes up the other person's life on, one day, then the other person's just going to get revenge, right?
Yep.
So they come to some sort of truce or whatever.
And you might think at many points, well, why don't they just do X? Why don't they just... They pretty much try to do all the things you think of.
Yeah, there's nothing ridiculous where you're like, oh, do this. It's like, no, it's
like
it makes sense.
At one point...
I mean, except for switching bodies, it makes sense.
At one point, the guy's like, I should actually just try to call her. And at one point, the girl's like, I should go meet him.
And and when they try, it says number disconnected or whatever.
Yeah, but everything that you think, why don't they do X, is explained sufficiently as to why that didn't work.
Yeah, you're not going to be sitting in the theater going, why don't they just do this?
Yep.
Like my mom does.
And I really, really recommend that you just go see this movie no matter what. It's the best anime movie I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's very unlikely that there will be a better anime movie soon, and it's been a long time since there's been an anime movie this good.
You've got to dig into Satoshi Kon and Ghibli.
If you're someone who listens to the Geek Nights, how can you, on anime day, how could you not see this?
And do yourself a favor, if you don't know anything more about the movie, don't go read about like what it's really about, because of course a movie like this, it's gonna swerve, and it
It's
does
obviously not. It swerves in ways that
Yup.
could not be foreseen.
Yeah, kind of like what was the there's a couple other movies we've seen that do this, but where you think the movie's gonna be like start to finish, this is what I expect.
It
Then you
doesn't
go
just
in,
zig and zag. It zogs and zugs.
Yup.
It's just like, whoa.
the point where you think the movie would wrap itself up is probably like it gets past that in the first quarter, first fifth. And it even does a thing where just when you get into the rhythm of, okay, they're swapping bodies, it passes a lot of time and cuts to a montage. Just like Brave Story did. And I feel like both movies did that to very good effect.
Well, also, what's it called? The one where the guy's getting trained by the wolf in the fantasy land.
What was that movie called?
Beast Boy.
Yes.
Boy and the Beast.
Boy and the
or whatever.
Beast, which is also a movie that
That
you
had a
think-
big ass montage of training of getting strong, right?
Yep. Well, that movie also spanned a lot more years than I expected it
Yeah,
to.
but the point is it had a big ass montage in it. That's why I
Yep.
thought of it.
But
This is way better than that one.
yeah, this one's more like the Brave Story one, where a typical movie might
This is
show
way
you-
better than Brave Star.
Yeah, but Brave Story is still, I think, a really good movie. I think it's criminally underrated.
All I remember is the circus part.
That circus part is the best animated circus scene I have ever seen.
Okay.
Name a better animated circus scene.
Atari Circus.
Okay. I mean, Sailor Moon Super S has a bunch of circus stuff, but it's not super well animated. 'Cause
You
it's a
don't
TV
say.
show.
You don't say.
But the montage is one of those moments where the movie basically skips all the
Dumbo.
crap
Dumbo is a better animated
that a
circus.
movie would normally deal with in this context to give you all that passage of time and equilibrium and everything to then get to what the movie is actually about. And it goes so far beyond they just swap bodies. And I cannot recommend this movie enough. This movie is great.
It's way good.
Yeah. So I want to talk about some of the spoilers and the actual stuff that happened in the movie.
Well, I mean, we can just tell you what the plot is. It's like, okay, so first, it was crazy when...
Spoilers, we're going to...
Yeah.
Just, if you haven't seen the movie, just don't
It was
even
crazy when
listen.
every character died and then came back to life 2 times.
Yep. And then it turns out that the world gets destroyed and then animal people called friends take over.
Right, anyway, no. So, first off, where they suddenly stop switching bodies.
Yeah, that hit real hard.
It's just like, wait, what? And then it's just like, we're just going to continue now living our own lives with no more body switching, and let's see what happens to them. And years pass by. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
And you'd think like you would just skip that over, or like, but it's like, wait, why? What happened? I don't even.
Well, just that whole you feel like the movie's going a certain way, and then the 3 big moments, I think, the emotional hits that really got me, other than the end, because the end is the Makoto Shinkai.
and it's like it doesn't even seem to be a reason for it. It's like, things were sort of moving along and coming to a thing.
Yep.
And then it's just like, oh, we didn't switch again after that.
But just that scene of like suddenly it's over and you see the comment, you don't really understand what happened. It was very well designed to manipulate the emotions of the audience, which then there's a long build. It turns into almost a mystery story where the guy's like, so what happened? Like doing research.
Right, because you have basically these 2 people. So they switch the camera between the 2 people however they want, and then like at certain points, it's like it's all on the girl all the time, and you don't know what the hell's going on with the guy at all.
Yep.
And sometimes on the guy, and after, they stop switching, it's like it's all on the guy 100%.
But that moment when he's in the diner and the guy's like, oh, that's a really good picture of blah. And then like everyone knows except him
Yep.
what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite moments is when he wakes up in her body and like there's still time, there's still time. And he's just crying and holding his breasts. And the sister comes in and she's like, nope, nothing to do with this. Fuck this. I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's not a comedy, but it does do a good job of not
Pulling it back.
right for something so serious and so heavy with the material, right? And it, even though it's got the supernatural and the spiritual action going on, it does a pretty good job of leaving in, just enough humor. This is still a cartoon or anime or whatever, right? You get the humor with in the restaurant.
Yep.
You get the humor in the school.
It's a
right?
complex movie. It's super serious.
I'm in a
It's
girl's
also
body. I'm gonna touch my boobs.
It's also super funny. Like it's legit funny.
Mm-hmm.
I
during
laugh-
the funny parts. You reach a point where there's no more funny parts.
Yeah. But at the lowest point, you get a very tactical funny part to sort of keep you from just crying out loud in the theater. I don't know what else we can say. I mean, just go see this movie. It is really good. There's a reason why it's still in theaters.
Have we talked enough about it?
I think so. I mean,
but yeah, it brings it like it's it gets really crazy. Like the whole thing with the fucking that's the first thing you see in this movie is like the space. Like it was a meteor, asteroid, whatever it is.
Well,
right?
forget the first thing. Literally everything. So there's all these.
And as soon as I saw that at the beginning of the movie, as that was the opening scene, I was like, oh, that's just not just decoration. Like that's something in this movie is about that. But I remembered it, but I had no fucking clue until eventually they tell you, and it's like, oh shit.
So because I've seen it twice, so I saw it again, knowing like the full deal, so I could watch for stuff. It is freakishly consistent in details to where you could have figured it out if you were paying attention. Little details like what kinds of cell phones people have.
Right. Or when the guy is like, oh, we can go see the meteor shower tonight, and everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yep.
And it's on the girls' news. The girls watching the news, and the news is all about this meteor shower or whatever. And no one in the dude doesn't in the Tokyo seems to know anything about that.
And it's also very much predicated on the idea that the whole movie, the primary mystery of the movie is basically because there is one short scene that actually happens way early in the movie, but you don't actually see it as an audience until near the end. And it literally ties a bow around the entire plot.
Yep.
I like that trope when movies do it well, where there's like the missing scene, and you're seeing all the events around it, and then that kind of
the very beginning of the movie, she wakes up from this dream, and you see like a few seconds of what she was dreaming.
Yep.
And then late in the movie, that you finally see the whole scene, and it's like, oh, that's what that was.
Yep.
Dun dun dun.
Like, why didn't she X? Why didn't he X? Oh.
Everything makes sense now.
But there are 0 wasted scenes.
Yeah, for something so long, you think there would be like a bunch of bullshit, time killing stuff.
Yep.
And they're almost like they get close to it, right? There's some scenes where like, they're like doing the thing with the weaving or whatever.
Yeah, but
right?
then that ends up being a very important part of the later plot.
Obviously, but it's like those scenes are like they take just as many seconds as they can for those scenes, and if they took like even 1 second longer on any of those, would have been sort of like and 1 second shorter would have been, I guess, not the end of the world, but it's like they make it just enough to where it's not a problem. Unlike the other, I'm only thinking about because I saw it recently, the Anshin and the Magic Tablet, where the guy runs up extra flights of stairs, and it's just like you could have run up like 4 less flights, dude. It's like you could have just zipped past that, right?
But a lot of those scenes, like I keep bringing it back to it, but it's like the perfect example of it. When the bomb dude, there's that one scene in the beginning where just randomly you see him sitting in a room filled with radio equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts away. Like he's sitting there for a while, and then it cuts away. And then later, when you realize that he's not in that club, the girl's in the club, and you figure out this whole side story of who likes who based on literally one scene with no dialogue that lasts maybe 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, of course, they're married. So,
I mean, yeah.
But that's actually important at the end because a lot of Makoto Shinkai's earlier stuff either left the like lovers separated by space-time unresolved or tragically resolved.
Mm-hmm.
This one, he made it
less tragic.
He made it very clear that the events of this movie literally happened, and if they meet again, they could figure shit out. Like there is a trail of evidence of stuff. They made it very real and set that up at the end, which I do appreciate.
Yeah,
because the Place Promised in Our Early Days, that end is a little bit brutal to watch. Despite it being happy, sad,
only
sad, happy.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, it's happy, sad, sad, happy. This one's just intense and emotional, but also wraps a bow around everything. There's no loose ends.
All right, that's enough.
Boop. All right. I will do the Patreon thing. Do da ba 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 ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. All right. Got to pull up my patrons. Boo doo boo boo. View all current patrons. And the Patreon patrons for this episode of Geek Nights are Rebecca Dunn, Nicholas Brandow, Alan Joyce, Heidi McNichol, Amanda Duchette, Great Job Emoji, MyStadia.com, William Eisenrose, Jeremy Miner. If this is a consularship, where is the ambassador? We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. The Terrible Secret of Space. 421 Creations, It Keeps Me Up at Night, Shervin Von Horrell, Rare Lavelle, James David White, Michelle Montanona, Superboy, Oh Scott, Your Beard Tickles When We Kiss, Sailor Vista, Matthew Smith, Don Schleich, Kishar Topishin, Joe Shore, Joestar, Tyler Eller, Sean Yeager, Sam Cordry, Clinton Walton, Ren from New Zealand, Ryan Perrin, Help, My Son is a Nerd, Brian Cedrone, The Space-Time Vector of an African-European Swallow Carrying Kiwis, Redacted, Chris Midgift, Chris Knox, Daniel Redmond, Sean Clyde, Chris Reimer, Thomas Hahn, and now I leave you with something. All right, kids, see you next week sometime.